Did it so fast?
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nandayate Giring Yat Krupatam Ham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarine Hare Krishna. So today we'll see verse number 48 of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. So let us chant the shloka. Dravya yajnastapo yajna
द्रव्ययज्ञस्तपो यज्ञ
yoga yajnasta tatha pare
Yoga pare
swadhyaya jnana yajnascha
स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञश्च
yataya samshita vrataha.
Yataya
यतयः
Sanshita Vrata
कृतः
Dravya yajna tapa yajna
Dravya Yajnastapo Yajna
yoga yajnas tatha pare
Yoga Yajnastata Pare
swadhyaya yajnan yajnascha
Swadhyaya Yajnayascha
yataya samshita vrataha.
Yataya Sanshita Vrata
Please chant.
Yascha
द्रव्ययज्ञस्तपो यज्ञ योगयज्ञस्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञश्च यतयः सन्ततः
द्रव्ययज्ञस्तपो यज्ञ योगयज्ञस्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञश्च यतः समिषितव्रतः.
Okay, so translation and purport. Sorry. Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, other by performing severe austerities, by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. Purport. These sacrifices may be fitted to various divisions. There are sorry, I have a little bit allergy of pollen grains. Purport. These sacrifices may be fitted to various divisions. There are persons who are sacrificing their possessions in form of various kinds of charities. In India, the rich mercantile community or princely orders open various kinds of charitable institutions like Dharmashala, Annakshetra, Athitishala, Anathalaya, or Vidyapit. In other countries too, there are many hospitals, old age homes, similar charitable foundations made for distributing food, education, and medical treatment free to the poor. All these charitable activities are called Dravyamaya Yagya. There are others who, for higher elevation in the life or promotion to the higher planets within the universe, voluntarily accept many kinds of austerities such as Chandrayana or Chaturmasya. This process entails severe vows for conducting life after certain rigid rules. For example, under Chaturmasya vow, a candidate does not shave for 4 months during the year, July to October. He does not eat certain food, does not eat twice in a day, or does not leave home. Such sacrifice of comforts of life is called tapomayagya. There are still others who engage themselves in different kinds of mystic yogas like Patanjali system for merging into the existence of the absolute. or Hatha Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga for particular perfection. And some travel to all the sanctified places of pilgrimage. All these practice are called yoga yajna, sacrifice for certain type of perfection in material world. Those there are others who engage themselves in studies of different Vedic literature, especially Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra or Sankhya philosophy. All these are called Swadhyaya Yajna or engagement in sacrifice of studies. All these yogis are faithfully engaged in different types of sacrifice or seeking higher status of life. Krishna consciousness, however, is different from these because it is the direct service of Supreme Lord. Krishna consciousness cannot be attained by anyone of above mentioned types of sacrifice, but can attain only by the mercy of the Lord and his bona fide devotees. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is transcendental. So, Krishna is explaining the yogis, yogis who do different types of sacrifices. So, he has explained about the brahmachari, grihastha, and then the Ashtanga yogis or yogis who are doing the dhyana yoga. Now here, Krishna is explaining about the general mass of people and different kinds of sacrifices they do for elevation to the higher planetary systems, right? So these are not always transcendental activities, but these sacrifices are mentioned in the Shastra, uh, which recommend that you do this sacrifice and then you get higher birth or higher enjoyment. So, Dravya Yajna, this is charity. So, charitable activities are very attractive to people in general. So, uh, especially from last year, we have seen a lot of charitable activities done by people, and these charitable activities help for elevation to the higher planets. Also, then is tapo yagya, different types of austerities. Like in India, I remember the fasting, right? The Srila Prabhupada mentions about Chaturmasya, 4 months of fasting. But there is also in Navratri, people fast for 9 days, complete fasting, 9 days. Or in regular day-to-day life also, can see in 1 week, there are every day of the week is dedicated to particular devta. So as per that, people fast. So every Monday or every Thursday or every Saturday, people in general fast. So this is also a sacrifice that we do. This is what we called tapo yagya. And then yoga yagya. Yoga yagya is the practice of hatha yoga. So in India, if you go to Rishikesh, there are so many ashrams or different yogis uh, who have practiced this hatha yoga and who have mastered that. And many foreigners go to these ashrams to learn these yoga practices because this hatha yoga are famous in all over the world. To do the practice of this hatha yoga, it helps in controlling the mind, controlling the senses, and also the bodily activities. So it's very popular. So that is also a type of sacrifice. And then swadhyay, study of different scriptures. So it does not specifically means the study of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, but any scripture. People spend a lot of time in studying the scriptures. So swadhyay means swa adhyay. So study on own, read, understand, try to understand. If questions ask the experts. So this is also a sacrifice because in all these activities, we are, or the people in general, are sacrificing their comforts. They are sacrificing their time. They are sacrificing their money. They are sacrificing their intelligence. They are sacrificing their body, which can be used for enjoyment, for doing hatha yoga. So these are all the activities that are counted as a sacrifice, and then get the results of this. But these activities are not easy. So if you have to fast for 9 days just eating fruits, it's not an easy thing. It's That's why the last word, sam sita vrata, it's very strict. But by doing these sacrifices, people become enlightened. Enlightened means what? They get a benefit. Of course, material benefit will be there, but also some spiritual benefit. Like uh, after fasting for 8 days or 10 days, then they find that, oh, I am controlled. My mind is in control, or I feel peaceful. I feel my health in better situation. So they get some higher consciousness after doing hatha yoga practice daily for 2 hours. People get mental peace, control that gives higher consciousness for understanding. By giving charity, people feel good of doing some activity to help others. That gives a sense of completeness. So people do these activities. So, but the ultimate purpose of this all sacrifice is not always connecting with the supreme or transcendental activity. They are bound, or they are aimed at having some results. So, but like Srila Prabhupada mentions that Krishna consciousness goes beyond the material activities. So it's much more higher. And by doing these activities like Dravya Yagya, Tapo Yagya, it's a very indirect and slow process. But if we want to do the real sacrifice, then we use our body, mind, intelligence, family, money, our strength, everything into service of Krishna. So that's the complete sacrifice, which gives the transcendental benefits, not the temporary benefits. But of course, these are all Krishna says. These I can calculate these as yogis or people who do sacrifices. So Krishna will explain more about some sacrifices and how people do it, and that we will see in the slokas from tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments, questions?
Why it says in the end that Krishna consciousness cannot be attained by any one of the above mentioned types of sacrifices.
Mhm.
Why it says like this?
Yeah, because the next line is there. No? By doing this, Krishna says, by bhakti only you can get Krishna consciousness, not by this. So this is Krishna consciousness is transcendental. So it comes from a person who is already doing this activity. So from devotees, we get uh, Krishna consciousness. From bhakta, a person who is doing charitable activities may not be a Krishna consciousness person. So we cannot get Krishna consciousness by that activity until or unless there is some connection to the Krishna consciousness. You cannot get this activity. These activities cannot fulfill that requirement, because Hatha Yoga or this other tapoyagya, or these are not exactly meant for Krishna consciousness. So if there is connection of some devotee in that, then there is possibility of getting Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, no. This generally give elevation results are the higher birth, good future life, next life, that type of results.
Can we compare it to the material example, like material disease? Sometime like the coronavirus, like if someone has this virus already, he can spread to others because that is contaminated. So it's,
No,
can we compare this with this Krishna consciousness? Like those who are already having that Krishna's bhakti or devotion, those only can give to others, not anyone else.
there are two ways. Of course, bhakti comes from devotees. That is true. But a person who has money, but who is misusing his money, and a person who has money, but he is using his money for building hospitals or building anath ashrams, that is a pious activity. So when you do pious activities, you think for the other souls, there is always a possibility of coming along people who have higher consciousness. A person who is just spending on gambling and drinking, there is no chance of these people getting in contact with devotees. But if you do some good activities, you may get in touch with higher consciousness people. So there is, of course, a chance of elevation. Of that is what we say, a higher consciousness and higher birth. Even if you get higher birth in the next life, then there is chance of connecting with the devotees. But of there needs connection to devotees. That's why devotees come and they spread. The virus, I don't know how the virus is made or how it spreads. We cannot compare exactly because virus is open. Krishna consciousness, bhakti is special. You need to have that qualification to get bhakti also.
Hmm.
So cannot directly compare like that.
What's the difference between these different sacrifices and Krishna consciousness?
The Krishna consciousness is sacrificing of your consciousness itself. First, you have to become conscious, and then you sacrifice your intelligence and everything for Krishna. These activities are not exactly like that. They are aimed at gaining something for yourself.
How we can say like if we want to give charity to someone who is needed, then it's not for ourselves, right? If we have compassion for others, so
It's
these
not always a
sacrifices.
pure compassion. People give donation and they expect something. There are very few people who give donations without expectation. Charity is considered to be a pious activity. That is why people give charity. The purpose, the main basic is like that. So, best charity is giving Krishna consciousness.
So what's the difference actually? Because we see like doing good things for others, that also good act.
Pious activity. It's a pious activity.
Yes, but then what's the difference between pious activity and activities doing
Pious
for
activity
Krishna?
will give for material. No? Pious activity is for material benefits. Krishna consciousness is not for material benefits. It's for the soul directly.
How can we like teach to others about this? Like, how can they believe that what we are saying? It's um,
It's
like
it's
how
it's
we
it's,
can teach
it's a
others.
experience. Everybody experiences that. If you behave properly, we have to become an example by seeing that the others get inspired to be like that. Because theoretically, we can explain so many things for 100 days, 100 years. But if you don't apply that in your life, then it does not make sense. So you apply, people see it, then people follow that.
How they can know the difference between activities for God, Krishna, and activities, pious activities.
It's not necessary that everybody will know. Why everybody should know? Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu says bhakti is rare.
Hmm.
People who have done all these activities already, they come in contact with bhakti because that also needs certain consciousness and qualification to understand for something higher. Of course, Krishna accepts everybody.
So this faith is come from devotee or
Yeah, of course. That's what Srila Prabhupada
it's
mentions, that this faith is from devotees. Only devotees can give that.
otherwise we don't get this faith.
Srila Prabhupada writes that. Any other comments or questions? Okay, so thank you very much. So we'll see more about the sacrifices tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.